Alright, so now I am going to discuss using the present continuous versus using the present simple. So we talked about how to form it. I took out your book on the right side here so you can see some of the stuff from your book. So over here you can see this is how to form, yes, no questions. This is all the stuff that I talked about in the class. So you can see all this. So if you go down onto page, what is this? If you look at page, nope, that's not what I wanted to see. If you look, come back down here. This is page, I don't know what page it says, 18. So if you look at page 18, it has 18 and 19, that's what I kind of have here, is using the present progressive. They call it the present progressive. I call it the present continuous. It's the same thing. So using it. Now, using it is different from present simple. Last class, I had asked many of you, well, when do you use the present simple? And many people said, oh, we use it when we're talking about things that are happening right now or in the present time. But that is not when you use the present simple. You use the present simple not for present time. That is when you use the present continuous. So we're going to look at these two, the present simple versus the present continuous. So the present simple, and we're talking about use. The use of the present simple. We talked about this last class. We use the present simple for facts, for habits, and for routines. This is the only time we use the present simple. It is not for present time, what is happening now. What is happening now is our present continuous. Now, present time. This is when we use the present continuous, not the present simple. Again, facts, habits, routines is the present simple. When we're talking about now and the present time, it's now. The other thing is that it's progressing. It's happening now. What I talked about last week also was present time doesn't necessarily mean today. It could mean between March of 2014 to March of 2015. It's still now. We're still in the present time. You could say things like, and this is what we have a lot, words like these days. And that is also in your book here. This right here. Change the color so I can make it. This right here. You can use the present progressive with time, especially mean right now and around now, blah, 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 blah. So this right here is telling you, I'm going to give you a little right here. Right? You can use the present simple to talk about things that are happening right now, around right now. So you could say words like right now, at the moment, this week, these days, this month. All of these words tell you that it's in the present time, not necessarily today, not necessarily this week. It could be this year. But it is happening in this present time, right now and in the future. This is not future tense. It is progressing. It is continuing to happen. So like this year, you could say this year I'm studying English. That's only this year. Maybe next year you're going to start studying something else. But in this present time, in this year, this is what you're doing. Again, present time doesn't mean right now. It just means present time. It could be this year, these days, this month. It could be now and into the future. It could also include the past. Remember that. Alright, so the other thing is that we have, and if you had gone into your book, and we did all this last week, if you look at page, I don't know what page this is, page 21. If you look at page 21, all right, so here we have where it says, use the simple present to describe habits, routines, facts, general truths. That's what I just said. When it happens right now or around the present time. This is what I just said. Use a simple present for situations that are true in general. The situations are settled and we do not expect them to change. So this is another piece, okay? This is another piece of present simple versus present continuous. General truths that are not expected to change. So present simple or general truths are not expected to change, whereas present continuous has this idea of changing situations. So present continuous is a temporary or changing situation. Okay? General truths, not expected to change. For example, I go to sleep at 8 o'clock. That's just what time I go to sleep. It is my habit. It is my routine. It is not something I expect to change. It is a general truth. I use the present simple. But over here, it's a temporary. I'm going to sleep at 9 o'clock. This may be for right now, these days, at this time, this week, this year, but it's not something that I expect to be doing for the rest of my life. It's a changing situation and it's temporary. All right, so the other piece to this, and it's a big one, these things called stative verbs. Stative verbs are always in the present simple. Right? So a stative verb. Do not use stative verbs in the present continuous. Now there was a list, I believe this is on right here in your book on page 22. This is a list right here of some very common, the 25 most common stative verbs that are spoken and written in English right here. If you also want to see some more verbs, you can see page A2 in your book. But these are the most common ones. If you're going to memorize anything, these are the verbs you need to memorize. These are stative verbs. They do not go into the present continuous. The big thing about present continuous is that do not use stative verbs because they are not actions. A stative verb is not an action. Present continuous is only used to show action. So it's an action, what you're doing. You're doing something. Okay? So there are some exceptions to this, but this is the big thing. So stative verbs, verbs that are not actions, are going to be in the present simple. Only action verbs like going, talking, walking, these are words that are actions. They are in the present continuous. Words, if you look in your book over here, words like hope. Hope is not an action, although sometimes you can see it used in the present continuous, but in general it's not an action. You need to use it in the present simple. Love. The McDonald's commercial, I'm loving it, is actually grammatically incorrect. Where it says I'm loving it from McDonald's is not correct because you can't, it's not an action. Okay? So that is using it. Okay? In the next video, I'm going to talk about the exceptions, but I don't want to make this one too long in case you don't want to get through everything. So again, present simple use, facts, habits, routines versus the present continuous over here, where you have things that are now or in the present time, these days, this month, this year, I'm studying English. And then over here, you have on the present simple are general truths that are not expected to change. It's a big piece there, is that they are not expected to change. Let me kind of underline that. Not expected to change. Not expected to change. Whereas over here, you have, move that down again, temporary or changing situations. They are temporary. I go to sleep at 8 o'clock. That's a general truth. I don't expect it to change. I'm going to sleep at 9 o'clock is just temporary. One is a fact, a habit, a routine that is not expected to change, and one is a temporary or a changing situation. Very big difference in these two sentences, simply because one uses the present simple and one uses the present continuous, and thus has a different meaning because of the verb tense. This is why these two tenses are very important to understand. So that is how to use the two. Again, the next video is going to be on the exceptions that have to do with these stative verbs and different meanings.